we always the same person? Well, stick around because I'm going to discuss that topic for this week's Monday Musing. Hey, pipe smokers, Southern Piper here with another installment of Monday Musing, and I welcome you back for this week's discussion. This week I want to talk to you about something that I've often thought about. I know Matches 860 did a similar video years ago about this, and it's kind of resonated with me, so I wanted to do a little chat on the topic myself. Now, before I get into that, I will show you what I'm smoking. I have my View from Dublin, Ireland by Peterson, and I did figure out what the actual shape is thanks to one of my viewers. It is a 14XL. XL14. This is in their commemorative St. Patrick's Day line this year. It's rusticated. It's got the Irish flag here. Just a beautiful pipe, in my opinion. I love it. Smokes great. And in it, I have some Cades Cove Cavendish from the Gatlinburg. So are we always the same person? Well, the short answer, in my opinion, is no, we're not. And there's a couple of ways to look at this. I did a little bit of research on it, not a whole lot. Read a couple of articles, and psychologists say that we change who we are based on our different environmental factors, different outside influences, and oftentimes life events. Also, more housekeeping. I'm drinking some Clyde Mays Alabama-style bourbon whiskey. So, let me give you a couple of examples in my life on things that have changed me. I've always been kind of a happy-go-lucky person. When I got my first hospital administrator job, I had a lot of growing to do, a lot of learning to do, and realized that not everybody has the same goal in mind, purpose in mind, and they're often out for themselves. And I kind of knew this in general, but I had never seen it really that firsthand. So it changed me. Changed the way I approach things. At the same time, I had a person I reported to at our corporate office who was probably not, I'm trying to think of a polite way to say this. He was just not a nice person. And the way he treated me, it changed the way I conducted myself, quite frankly. Now, I know you can say, you need to be who you are. Don't let other people influence you like that. Don't let other people bring you down. But it does change you nonetheless, particularly when your job's involved. I certainly at the time didn't have a go to hell fund saved up. So And I wasn't the only one that felt this. I talked to other colleagues who reported to this same individual, and they had similar feelings. So that's just a couple examples. Going through a divorce, obviously, that changed me. But I wanted to, so that's kind of what I feel like a broader, more almost clinical type look at it. And there have been studies on it and stuff like that. What about at a more casual level? I kind of have a baseline of who I am, the way I act, and the way I conduct myself. I try to treat others with respect. I try to be friendly with other people, whether I know you or not. Speak to you, passing somebody in the hallway or on the street. I try to give them some sort of greeting of the day type thing. That's just who I am. That hasn't changed. Now, that baseline is me, right? Hadn't really changed. But if I'm at work on any average day, any given day, I conduct myself in a certain professional manner. But once I get off work, if I meet a friend, like let's say Lakeside Piper and I, we may meet for a cigar or a pipe after work. Well, I can be more of myself with him than I can with people at work, because I don't have to be professional around Lakeside Piper. If I want to tell an off-color joke to him, I can, whereas I wouldn't say the same joke at work. Likewise, if I go to the corporate offices, or if I'm around other colleagues at corporate, then, again, it's a work setting. I'm probably going to be a little bit different in that setting than I would even at the hospital, because, everybody there is probably higher than I am in the organizational chain. I'm going to give them a level of respect that they're due, because for right or for wrong, I give everybody the same amount of respect. But like with a military background, if you're a high enough rank, I'm going to give a general officer a different type of respect than I would. I was a major when I was in the Air Force, so I would give a general officer a different type, or even an 06, a different type of respect than I would a fellow major or a captain type thing. And it's just because your peer group, you can act one way, be a certain way. When you're around those higher in the chain of command, you give them a different level of respect. It's just what it is. Not saying you're not being yourself, but you do conduct yourself a little bit differently, if that makes sense. So if I'm around, a lot of senior VPs and executive vice presidents at a corporate event, or if I'm around our corporate CEO, I'm going to conduct myself accordingly, okay? Now, let's say I'm around my kids. There are things and the ways I can act around my kids, whether it be, and my kids are older, so there's less discipline than there was, say, 10 or 15 years ago when I was having to bring them up and teach them right from wrong. So now, we can listen to music, and I love telling my kids dad jokes for the sole purpose of that's my role in life, right? To make them roll their eyes and say, oh, Dad, that's dumb. But I do act a little bit different around my kids than I would, say, people at work. Likewise with Princess Truvy. Princess Truvy, I can probably be my true self, um, with no filter, because she's a special person in my life. Um, and like with her kids in their late teenagers and early 20s, I'm not going to be the exact same with them because I'm not their dad. They have a dad who's very involved, and so, but I can still act different with them than say I can people at work. So, are we always the same person? And again, I think the answer is no. As you age, kind of circle back around, events and circumstances in your life can change you. The person you are when you're 7 is different than the person you are when you're 14, right? And when you turn 21, you're a different person than you are than when you're 14, because you've matured, you've gone through puberty, you've grown, but your brain's still not fully developed. So by the time you get to be 28, you're a different person than you were when you were 21, and so forth when you're 35. And it's kind of like that 7-year leap, right? If you experience tragedy or loss, then that's going to change who you are. Likewise, the person you are with your buddies, with, say, your drinking buddies, if you're so inclined, may be a little bit different than you act around your kids, adult kids, versus people at work. So, and I know what some of you may be thinking. Yeah, but you're still the same person, but you're conducting yourselves in a different way, which is true, and it makes us who we are. I think those of you who have met me, for the most part, probably met the real me. You didn't meet the hospital administrator me, and really you probably didn't meet the dad me either. So, even though that's still me and who I am, and I still have the same baseline, it's still a little bit different, right? And so, anyway, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the subject. Whether you agree with my line of thinking or not, I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Are we always the same person? So let me know what you think. So I'm going to end today's musing by giving you a little bit of some updates. So just a reminder, tomorrow, so you're watching this on a Monday, tomorrow, which will be, what day will that be? The 28th, Tuesday, March 28th, again at the Briary here in Birmingham. We're going to have a couple of special guests doing a pipe show. We're going to have Tommy Ascorti, and we're going to have Maurizio Radonale. They're going to be here with some of their pipes. If you can make it over, we'd love to have you. And I will be back with you for another Thank You Thursday later this week. And I'm probably, at some point, will do footage from the pipe show at the Briary, so be looking for that as well. So thank you for sticking this out. If you've watched all 14 minutes of it, I do appreciate it. I appreciate anytime you guys come hang out with me on YouTube. And until next time, my friends, I bid you happy smoking. Blessings to your family.